guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Thursday. Want to say hey to all my subscribers. New as well as season. Got a word for you. Tap in. Well, no, I do know I have a word. uh, Someone asked me to kind of summarize turn-ons, turn-offs. And I actually have a recording similar to this from maybe like 8-9 months ago, but I do know that there's a lot of new people here. Hey, my new folks, have a lot of new people here, so I figure I just kind of do a little updated one and just pull even from the old one. But if some of my seasoned people are listening and you've already heard this recording, and if you decide to stay tapped in, please give your girl some grace because I'm going to repeat myself. All right, so turn-ons and turn-off. Let's start with turn-offs, since my turn-off list is not as long as the turn-on list. Again, nobody please get offended. Like, it is what it is. Like, right? It is what it is. We all have our stuff, right? I have things to turn people on. I have things to turn people off, right? It is what it is. We're human beings. So it's all in fun. All right. Turn-offs. Number one. Well, not even number. Just go. Listen. Jealousy. And I'm talking about extreme jealousy, right? Like extreme jealousy. That is a major turn off for me. In fact, I peeped those red flags very early on. Like I have a hard time dealing with extremely jealous people. So that's a turn off for me. Next, someone who really struggles with communication. Now, granted, I won't even say most, a lot of men struggle with communication. Of course, for many, they were raised that way, et cetera, et cetera. So, I don't think women expect men to communicate as much as we do, because we overly communicate, right? So I don't think, maybe we do expect them to, but I think if they can just I'm speaking about me, give me a little bit of leadway, right? Because my discernment game is already on fleek. I can kind of tell when something's going on, but if you just give me a little bit, then I can kind of go and wiggle my way in, right? And tap in. But that real cold shutdown, like you can get absolutely nothing from communication, that is a turn off. All you're doing is sitting here pouting, and you won't even child. Okay, so individuals who do not communicate at all. I'll say that, at all. Next thing. Someone who lacks motivation. And then I'll tie the next one in with that. Who lacks motivation and who does not work. Listen, you listening? Okay. I know some people are okay. Some women are okay with men who don't work. Listen, I'm just saying that ain't my portion. I ain't got time. Period. Now, let me be clear here, right? We're not speaking about a bad season. We're not speaking about if your man lost his job and he's in a bad season, right? He may be going through a depression for whatever reason. He could be like whatever, right? You hold your man down if he's in a bad season. But dude, we getting up, right? We ain't gonna stay there forever, right? I'm gonna grieve with you here. I'm gonna have your back. I'm gonna hold you down. But I'm speaking about if someone is in a bad season, because remember, seasons rotate. You can be up to date, down tomorrow, right? But I'm talking about you done been with him for 35 years and he have not worked in 40 years. Well, that math ain't mathing, but whatever, right? You know what I'm talking about. Okay, next one. Someone who is judgmental and critical. Listen, I don't think some men understand when it comes down to when women really shut down on you, especially like intimately and sexually and things like that. A lot of the times, I don't even think some men even realize it as something that they said. And you could have said it a year ago. You could have said it a year ago, but it's still in her head, right? So if he's critical, and that's not to say bite his tongue, but I think men are just like straight shooters, and some don't consider that we're very sensitive and we're very emotional. So they'll just say things the same way they would talk to, like, I guess, their buddies and their homeboys. Like, you just shoot it off. Well, with some women, like, you say certain things, you're critical about it, honey, we will lock the camp up on you. Like, listen, forever. Seriously, right? So critical and judgmental versus addressing things, having a meeting of the mind, trying to understand, even if you don't get it, etc., etc. Next thing, I can hear somebody now saying, what is lock up the camp? Okay, you figure it out, sir. All right, next thing. I can't read my own handwriting. Doesn't like what? I don't even know what I just said. I'll figure it out. Next thing, baby mama drama. Listen, thank God I like older men. Well, I like younger guys too. Because I said that before and I got some emails. I like all men in general, right? But baby mama drama. Listen. If you got some kids, them kids need to be older. Them kids need to be, old enough where you can deal with them one-on-one, right? Teens, late teen, like that baby mama drama. You got a 1-year-old and a 2-year, and is drama? Like, seriously, drama. Child, I ain't got time. But that's me, right? You may have time. I just ain't got time. So baby mama drama. Next thing. Oh, I knew what I couldn't read. Honey, I had to throw my pen down for this because this is so annoying. Do not listen. I'm not saying hearing. Listen. Right? Unless it's about, again, the game, sex, or dinner is ready. Like, listen. Oh, God. Like, I know men get annoyed by us nagging, and I think it's important for them to understand that the how they get annoyed with our nagging is the equivalent for us when they do not listen and when they don't communicate. It is just as annoying. It is the same. Like, we stress them out because we're saying it more than, I was going to say one time, but I'll say more than 20 times. But we wouldn't say it 20 times if you get it and allow it to sink in through your watermelon head the first time. It's like, we can literally, and this is not all men, let's be clear, right? This is not all men. You can literally say, I don't know, let's say the sky is blue. You can literally say the sky is blue. And you can go back 3 minutes and say, what did I ask you 3 minutes ago? I don't know. I just asked you 3 minutes. Well, I just told you not ask you that the sky is blue. I said to you the sky is blue. Oh, okay. But let me call and tell you come upstairs. Oh, so men who don't listen, it is so annoying. It is so annoying. And again, I'm not a biased person because I understand we all have our stuff, women and men. So I know they get super annoyed with us and us nagging. Whoever's listening, they're annoyed with me now because I'm nagging and I won't get up off of the subject. But it is what it is. God made us crazy enough to stress each other out. I don't know. All right, next thing. This is just me. Some people love this. I ain't got time. That excessive clinginess. Whew. Excessive clinginess. Again, some people love that, right? But you're asking me my turns on and my turns off. Excessive clinginess. I don't know. Again, I'm just, I got to have my own space at times, right? And it's almost like if I don't go in the corner for a few minutes, for whatever reason, I'm in my own head about something, or I'm trying to get my energy back up because I was just being used for purpose somewhere, and it has like zapped my energy. So now I gotta kind of go in the corner somewhere and just try to really, get filled back up in the spirit or whatever. And you come over there, and you got your legs on me. You're pulling up a chair, you got your shoulders on me. You're laying your head on my bosom. Sir. Bosom. Can I just have 5 minutes, please? I promise you. I'll make it up to you. Just give me 5 minutes, please. 5 minutes. They come back in 2 minutes. You got your energy. Excessive clinginess. All right. Let's talk. So that's really it for my turn. I don't really have a lot to turn off. Seriously, like I'm not even like you won't even. I won't even have a list as far as physical features when it comes down to turn off. Like I'm just really not that girl. Seriously, I'm not like a certain look or certain this, certain that. Now I will say this. And this is so petty. I said this before, I'm going to say it again. Sir, are you listening? Please don't have a... I don't even want to say it, but I'm going to say it. Because I promise you, everything else, this can be so petty. Everything else can be, great. But if Kizzy, should you say it? Should you not say it? Are they going to judge you, Kizzy? I don't care. Please, sir, do not have on no... Please don't have on any bend up or run over shoes. I'm telling you now, I'm going to change my number on you. Sir, right? Work with me here, right? Because I don't need you to be a certain this and a certain that and a certain this. And you got to have $1 million. And I'm just not that chick, honey. But listen, you cannot have on the run over, beat up, bend up shoes. I promise you. I'm done. Okay, I'm done. That's it. That's it. That's it. I'm gonna turn it off. Okay. Turn-ons. I've said this before, and I will yell it from the mountaintops. A man who loves his mama. Again, I'm not speaking about a mama's boy per se, right? I know a lot of ladies have issues with mama's boy. I mean, I guess I personally don't have an issue with mama's boy unless it's like literally discounting you as his woman, right? Like maybe he's going to. So I'm not speaking about a mama's boy. I'm speaking about a man who loves his mama. And if he got he loves children in general, but like if he got girls, right? It's something about, I don't know what it is about a man and his mama, honey. It is the most sexy thing to me. So that's that. A man who loves his mama, loves his children, but really, really takes care of his mama. Next thing, listen. Whoo, it's something so sexy about a man who can cook, right? In general, right? So it's not like I'm saying like you got to cook. I'm a great cook, seriously. But it's something about a man who can cook. I don't know, like if his mom had him in the kitchen when he was young watching her, or if just maybe it's just a hobby for him, or maybe he went to culinary school. I don't know. But I'm talking about them kinds who, like, they cut up the peppers and the garlic all fine and minced, and they're over that stove, and that stuff is simmering for hours, and the meat done been seasoning for 5 days. And well, I don't know if that's healthy, but the meat done been, like, seasoned in the refrigerator. I'm talking about, like, they really, really, really put their foot. You would think somebody grandmama cooked that food. It's something about a man who can cook, honey. Woo! Let me just tell you. All right. Next thing. A man who is confident. I think it is so sexy. A man who's confident and he's secured. I'm talking about just confident. Like, you can't even shake him. Like, he can be out with you and he can see everybody and their mama wants you, honey. He ain't think about you, right? He ain't think about you. He know ain't nothing happening. A confident man, a secure man, who is just not going to be moved just because the next dude walked by and maybe have a better car or more money, and now he's thinking you might to leave him for this dude. Whew, child, a secure, confident man is a turn on. Next, beards. Beards, honey. I know some women say they don't like beards. I don't know what it is about beard. For me, it just says man, all caps, man, full grown man, honey. I don't know. That's just me. But a man with a good beard, a good beard. Not, well, let me just leave that alone. A man with a good beard. I think it's so sexy. I love men with beards. Next, smell glisten. Smell good. Woo! They have some great colognes on the market. I've said in the last recording, one of my favorites that I still have not, well, I can't say that because I haven't smelled any, I haven't been on a rampage smelling colognes all over the place, but Chrome Legend, right? Or is it the Azzaro? I hate when they go and they mess with the colognes or perfumes and try to change it or whatever. But that very first Chrome that came out, that's in that silver box, honey. Let me just tell you. And of course, my favorite, I have it as well because it's unisex, is Baccarat. Baccarat will have you snatching somebody's daddy, son, cousin, uncle. On the flip side, because it's unisex, somebody's wife, somebody's mama, somebody's sister. Let me just tell you, honey, that Baccarat, you're going to pay a pretty penny, honey, but all you need is literally a drop, and it will stay on you for 9 days if you don't shower. So a man who smells good. Next is, I like a man who can switch up his looks, right? Go from casual to, a nice, sleek, grown and sexy type look. So it's grown and sexy when it needs to be, and can switch it up to a nice casual when need to be, right? Just versatile. Next thing, a great listener, which is in contrast to what I was saying earlier about turnoffs. Listen, bless you, baby. Have you guys ever, well, I know some guys, I was about to say, have you guys ever had a guy, but there are some guys listening as well. Please excuse me, guys. Seriously, no disrespect. But ladies, have you ever had a guy, when you're having a conversation with them, they're literally listening, right? They can be looking you in your eyes, but maybe even not. They could just be looking down, but you can tell they're in tune and they're actually listening to what you're saying without shutting you down or without saying you're nagging. They're truly trying to understand, even if they don't agree, or they could be thinking in their mind, here we go again with these emotions or whatever. But they're truly listening to understand. They're not cutting you off. They're listening. And then when you're finished speaking, they can literally come back and tell you child, sir, I will marry you today. Today, seriously. A man who can listen, he's already top notch over just whatever, right? That solves a lot of the problems right there, regardless of we're nagging. But, okay, even if we're nagging, you might don't want to listen right then, but can you at least come back sometime during the day and pull up a chair and just hear what I'm saying? Oh, I just had a flashback. I used to hear, Kizzy, just choose your battles. Once you just listen, choose your battles. Okay, all right, I'm going to choose my battles. Because I'm right here in my head battling and trying to come up and strategizing how I'm going to leave you behind tomorrow. Period. Choose your battles. Woo! Okay, I had a flashback. All right, next thing. He's firm in his stance. Right? He's firm in his stance. Meaning, whatever he says, it is. Right? Even if you're whatever, you could be mouthing off or you're just not, whatever. You might not even agree with it, but you're crying or you're emotional, whatever, or you're not going to change his mind. It is what it is. Seriously. So you might talk crap about it, but it will make you respect him, because you'll see he's not moved by certain things, right? His stance is his stance. He believes in what he believes in, and it is what it is. And you're not changing that, regardless if you're sitting on the chair crying, because he's just so mean. Next thing, gratitude. Well, that's just my love language overall, just gratitude, right? Who can really appreciate whatever it is that you're bringing to the table. If you really, I don't know, he could be going through some things, and I don't know, you just went to the store and buy his favorite meal because you know he's going through some things, or whatever, his favorite drink. Yes, drink, church, holy folks. But he recognizes the small things. Because one thing that a lot of women get really fed up with, and that stuff builds and builds and builds to the point of no return, is when a man don't recognize the small things, right? It's almost like they get, and this is not all men, but it's almost like they get comfortable and they're not even recognizing how much it takes to run a household, right? They're not recognizing how much it takes to X, Y, and Z. So gratitude is very, very important and such a turn on. Next thing, he was, again, I just want to, reiterate, I'm not speaking for all women, I'm speaking for Kizzy right now. I'm sure some of these things all women can probably vouch to, right? But vouch for. But puts effort into the small things, right? This is me. Most women would probably say, no, go buy me the $10,000 earrings, right? Listen, write in the card. Just don't give me a card because you bought it out the store, and because the card already have words in it. Can you just please add your own little words to it? Can you leave me a handwritten letter on the sink? All right, because I'm about to wake up, and let me know. Your girl, you're not that hurt that. Let me know, right? It's the small things, right? You see that the car is dirty, so when I wake up, oh my goodness, I don't have to go to the car wash. You hand wash my car. The small things. And I know, sadly, that a lot of men have experienced the complete opposite. So it's almost like when they do the small things, women did not appreciate it, or it almost kind of just was overlooked because it wasn't the $10,000 earrings or whatever. And to the point that many of them just start doing small things, right? But I'm here to tell you, every woman is not the same. I promise you, every woman is not the same. I know several who think just like I do in my immediate circle. You just got a bad batch because y'all got to go solely physical. Solely. Some men. All right, next thing. Okay, so okay, there's something different about the energy when you go out, right? So let's go out to dinner, right? Home is fine. I'm really big on changing the environment in the home. You can literally turn your house into a nightclub. All you need is some red lights, the right mirrors, honey. Fry you some wings and some shrimps. Listen, turn on YouTube and and search out the what is it called, those videos that play cookout music. Seriously, if you Google and YouTube cookout music, listen, you will go for hours and hours and hours with music from back in the days. You will dance, you will have a great time. I'm all for that, seriously, and it's probably the most fun, safest way. But there's something about the energy when you hang out too. And when I say hang out, I'm talking about going to a nice lounge, right? Let's go to the bar and watch the game. Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, where you at, baby? Yes, okay. Go out, watch the game, right? Or go out to a nice dinner and just connect. No cell phone, just connect, right? So I like somebody who can switch it up. Just don't want to sit in the house 24 hours a day. Listen. Let's get dressed and let's go turn up, period. Right, all right. We'll stay home next weekend. All right, next thing, I love a man who can show his emotions. Again, Contrast to what we said earlier on the turn off, who can show his emotions. Again, with limits, I guess, if you will, because finding that balance, I should say, finding that balance, expressing his emotions. Sadly, a lot of men have tried that in the past and it was used against them the minute she got mad, right? Let me tell you something. That has never happened with me. I don't care how mad. Listen, we could have been in the middle of, I don't care what it is. Certain things I'm not going to bring back up because I know you share those in a very, very vulnerable moment, right? I may have wanted to say it just to kind of, but I would never, right? So when that happens, a lot of the times, some men will never, ever, ever, ever open up again. And this could have been 97 years ago when he was married. And now you, like, because that one time that he tried to express himself, right? Because you told him, well, it's okay to be emotional. And the one time he tried to really express himself in that way, the first argument, you brought that up. And so now he shut down, completely shut down. So, I mean, finding a good balance, right? Not crying every 2 minutes because somebody stole your lunch at work, but more so less when something is bothering you, like when something's hurting you, right? Truly having a meeting in your mind. And of course, the woman in his life is that's going to play a part, right? Because he have to trust you, right? Got to trust you first. But a man who can show his emotions. So men, if you're listening, please understand that all women are not the same. And it's a turn on when you can show your emotions. Because that means you're in tune. If you're in tune with your emotions, you could be in tune with my emotions. Because I think that's probably one of the top 3 complaints about women is you guys do not tap into our emotions. All we do is we get told to choose our battles. Choose our battles, or we nag too much, so we keep getting shut down. So you shut us down, and what happens? That pressure builds and builds and builds and builds, and we can't tell anybody until we find somebody who will listen. And it builds and it builds because pressure busts pipes. And one day when you turn that key, we're gone, right? Because, you know. Next, I think I got 2 more. A man who helps this woman to feel like the most beautiful woman in the world, secure, right? I don't care where you are. You can be in the middle of a carnival where there's 5 million of the most beautiful women in the world, right? And you may be side-eyeing them, right? Just keep it cute. You got 1 second to look. I'm going to give you 2 seconds, but you better get it together, sir, right? But in the midst of all these beautiful women, he already knows how women are. And so he will do everything to make sure that she feels solid within the environment, within the relationship, or whatever. So a man who makes his woman feel secure, regardless if you got 30,000 bad chicks around. I think last thing, I love, and this is the complete opposite of myself, and that's probably why, I don't know, I love a man who is laid back. I love a man who is laid back. They say opposites attract, so I guess that's what it is for me. I'm obviously I'm not a laid back person. I'm more of like a firecracker, but it is what it is. We're who we are, right? So I feel like, and you know, as I think about it, everybody that I know personally, like it typically works. Like one person is more laid back, more quiet. It could even be the woman, right? One person is more laid back, more quiet, where the other person is kind of more like a firecracker, but they can balance each other out. And most important, what I like about that is that you won't even take each other personal. So, because with 2 of the same personalities, you're going to really bug each other because you're just too much alike, right? And it's not to say that the 2 opposite personalities wouldn't bug each other, but a laid back person, they don't take everything to heart. They don't take everything serious. It's like they can ignore you. It's just like, you know what, girl, do what you do. Do what you do, right? But at the same time, they can pull you, they can wind you back in when you're just doing too much. Because with firecrackers, sometimes we don't even realize we're doing too much. We're just us. So we're over here bubbly, right? We might be smiling too much in somebody's face and we don't even realize it, like, right? So we're just we're just bubbly, right? We're just all over the place. But a laid back person can really pull you in and be like, listen, you're doing too much. Have a seat. Oh, my bad. Thank you, sir. I'm sitting down right now, right? And it works. But when you got two people who are the same, it's just like, child. So personally, I like a laid back guy. And hear me, laid back does not mean he is, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not going to use the word feminine because I truly do not believe a feminine man is a weak man. That's not my my view. Honestly, it's not. So I'm trying to think of a word. It doesn't mean you can run over him at all. In fact, it just means he can just give you one look and it's just like, all right, let me tighten up, right? So it doesn't take, oh, I missed one. Well, I have one more. Bless you. I got one more after this. So it doesn't mean that you run over him at all. It's just that he can just let half of that nonsense, just fly over his head because it just don't bother him how it would bother maybe somebody else. But when it's time to be serious, right, you gonna get it together, right? You gonna get it together. So yeah, I like a laid back guy. Last one. Listen, when I say this is probably this should have been on the turn off list. And in fact, it should have been number one, but I just got a conviction, a heavy conviction. On my turn on list, I left off loves God. Jesus, Lord, please forgive me. Please forgive me, because that should have been one across the board. So I want to backtrack really quickly and go back to the top of my turn on list. Listen, got to love the Lord. Again, it doesn't mean he's churchy, sanctified, holy, got on Stacey Adams every Sunday. I'm not saying that, right? You don't have to have on black slippery socks. I'm not saying that. It just means that he has a relationship with God. He fears God. He is in his purpose or striving to find his purpose, etc., etc., etc. Doesn't mean he's perfect, right? It doesn't mean he's perfect, but he's willing to what's the word? I can't think, but he pays attention to his convictions and he's striving every day, right? He's striving every day to be a better person. So Lord, please forgive me, please. Back to the turnoff, what should have been number one, even though they weren't in any particular order, this should have been number one. A man, turn off to the 15th power. A man who gossips like a woman. And I'm talking about catty and like it is almost like two women just sitting down gossiping. First of all, I don't even like gossiping. I'm a whole grown woman, right? I don't even gossip, right? But to know that there are some men out here nowadays who gossip literally like women, it is the most turn off thing ever. But I'm sure none of my guys here gossip, right? All right. You guys have a great one. Have a great evening. Have a great night. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.